Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Gajajana Ranjana Yashuranandana Gajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from 5th canto, chapter 5, verse 12. Yes, chapter 12? Yeah, verse 5, canto 5, chapter 12, text 8. Rahugana converses with Jadar Bharat. We'll do again Sanskrit teacher style. Sanskrit. Yada, therefore. Kshitau, yada kshitau, therefore in the earth. Eva, certainly. Charar trayasya, of different bodies, some moving and some not moving. Chara charasya, of different bodies, some moving and some not moving. Yadakshita eva charachayasya, yadakshitav eva characharasya, vidama, we know, nishtam, vidama nishtam, we know annihilation. Prabhavam, cha, appearance and. Nityam, regularly, by the principles of nature. Tat, namata, that, then simply by name. Tat namata, that simply by name. Anyat, vyavahara mulam, cause of material activities. Anyat vyavahara mulam, other cause of material activities. Tanamatonyad vyavahara mulam. Tanamatonyad vyavahara mulam. Nirupyatam. Let it be ascertained. Satkriyaya, by actual employment. Nirupyatam sakriyayanu. It's sakriyaya. Nirupyatam satkriyayan. Anumeyam, to be inferred. Nirupyatam satkriyayanu nuyam. Nirupyatam sat kriyayanu numeyam. Yadakshitav eva characharasya. Yadakshitav eva characharasya. Vidamanishtam prapavam cha nityam. Vidamanishtam prapavam cha nityam. Tanamatonyad vyavahara moolam. Tanamatonyad vyavahara moolam. Nirupyatam satkriyayanumeyam. Nirupyatam satkriyayanumeyam. Yadakshitav eva characharasya. Vidamanishtam prabhavam cha nityam. Tanimatonyad vyavahara moolam. Nirupyatam satkaraya numeyam. I forgot, it's been a long time, but if you could do it that way, you should first study yourself. One should first study himself. Okay. One last time. Yadakshitav eva characharasya. Vidamanishtam prabhavam cha nityam. Tanamatonyad vyavahara moolam. Nirupyatam satkriyayanumeyam. Others? Yadakshitav eva characharasya. Vidamanishtam prabhavam cha nityam. Tanamatonyad vyavahara moolam. Nirupyatam satkriyayanumeyam. Yadakshitav eva characharasya. Vidamanishtam prabhavam cha nityam. Tanamatonyad vyavahara moolam. Nirupyatam satkriyayanumeyam. Anyone else? Yadakshitav eva characharasya. Vidamanishtam prabhavam cha nityam. Tanamatonyad vyavahara moolam. Nirupyatam satkriyayanumeyam. Translation by His Divine Grace, Abhayacharana Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada. All of us on the surface of the globe are living entities in different forms. Some of us are moving, and some not moving. All of us come into existence, remain for some time, and are annihilated when the body is again mingled with the earth. We are all simply different transformations of the earth. Different bodies and capacities are simply transformations of the earth that exist in name only. For everyone grows out of the earth, and when everything is annihilated, it again mingles with the earth. In other words, we are but dust, and we shall be but dust. Everyone can consider this point. I say, you say. All of us on the surface of the globe are living entities in different forms. Some of us are moving and some not moving. All of us come into existence, remain for some time, and are annihilated when the body is again mingled with the earth. We are all simply different transformations of the earth. Different bodies and capacities are simply transformations of the earth that exist in name only. For everything grows out of the earth. And when everything is annihilated, it again mingles with the earth. In other words, we are but dust. And we shall be but dust. Everyone can consider this point. Purport. In the Brahma Sutra, it is said, Tad anyatvam arabham panna shadabdiyaha. The cosmic manifestation is a mixture of matter and spirit. But the cause is the Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 20, it is said, Idam hi vishvam bhagavan evetara. The entire cosmic manifestation is but a transformation of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because of illusion, no one can appreciate that God is non-different from the material world. Actually, he is not different, but this material world is simply a transformation of his different energies. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaya Shruyate. There are also other versions of this in the Vedas. Sarvam Kala Vidam Brahma. Matter and spirit are all non-different from the Supreme Brahman, Bhagavan. Lord Sri Krishna confirms this statement in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 4. Me bina prakratir ashtadha. The material energy is Krishna's energy, but it is separated from him. When the material energy is engaged in the service of the Supreme Spirit, so-called material energy is also transformed into spiritual energy, just as an iron rod becomes fire when placed in contact with fire. When we can understand by an analytical study that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the cause of all causes, our knowledge is perfect. Simply understanding the transformations of different energies is partial knowledge. We must come to the ultimate cause. Nate vidu swartikatim hi vishnum. The knowledge of those who are not interested in knowing the original cause of all emanations is never perfect knowledge. This is nothing in the phenomenal world. There is nothing in the phenomenal world that is not produced by the supreme energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aromas from the earth are different scents manufactured and used for different purposes. But the original cause is the earth, nothing else. A water pot made of earth can be used to carry water for some time, but ultimately the pot is nothing but earth. Therefore, there is no difference between the pot and its original ingredient, earth. It is simply a different transformation of the energy. Originally, the cause or primary ingredients is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the varieties are only byproducts. Someone is talking? Oh, back there. In the Chandra Yoga Upanishad, it is stated, Yatha Saumya Ekanam Mritpindena Sarvam Minayam Vigyatam Syad Vacha Arambanam Vakara Nam Madhyam Mritiketya Eva Satyam. If one studies If one studies, no. If one studies the earth, he naturally understands the byproducts of the earth. The Vedas therefore enjoin, Kasman Bhagavato Vigyate Sarvam Idam Vigyatam Bhavati. If one simply understands the original cause, Krishna, the cause of all causes, then naturally everything else is understood, although it may be presented in different varieties. By understanding the original cause of different varieties, one can understand everything. If we understand Krishna, the original cause of everything, we do not need to separately study the subsidiary varieties. Therefore, from the very beginning it is said, Satyam Param Dhimahi. One has to concentrate one's understanding on the supreme truth, Krishna, or Vasudeva. The word Vasudeva indicates the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the cause of all causes. Matstani sarva bhutani nacha ham teva vashtita. This is a summary of phenomenal and noumenal philosophy. The phenomenal world depends on the noumenal existence. Similarly, everything exists by virtue of the potency of the Supreme Lord, although due to our ignorance, the Supreme Lord is not perceived in everything. Verse again. All of us on the surface of the globe are living entities in different forms. Some of us are moving and some not moving. All of us come into existence, remain for some time, and are annihilated when the body is again mingled with the earth. We are all simply different transformations of the earth. Different bodies and capacities are simply transformations of the earth that exist in name only. For everything grows out of the earth, and when everything is annihilated, it again mingles with the earth. In other words, we are but dust, and we shall be but dust. Everyone can consider this point. So I am remembering Srila Jayadvaita Goswami. He did this verse is similar to the one in Ecclesiastics in the Bible. It goes something like, "O man, you are dust, and you come from but dust. O vanity of vanities." The famous one, "O vanity of vanities." And Ecclesiastics, over and over again, vanity, vanities, vanity of vanities. Vanity is I am thinking that I am this body. Right? We are told over and over again we are not this body, but here Jud Bharat is speaking as though we were the body because we identify with the body. King Rahugana, he's thinking he's the king because his body is the king. Because of his previous karma, he took birth in a family of royalty and became the king. But really his, as it says, just vanity of vanity. You are made just of dust. You are dust. Krishna spoke a very similar philosophy. No, Lord Chaitanya spoke a similar philosophy when he was a little boy and he climbed up on a pile of broken pots. And his mother chastised him. Nimai, why you are sitting on top of a pile of pots? It is an unclean place. You come down. And he argued, no, mother, it is just clay. These pots came from clay. And we are walking on the earth. So what difference does it make? Some argument similar. What difference does it make? Whether we're walking on the earth or we are sitting on the pots. And his mother, it said, was the wife of a great pundit. So she explained, yes, earth in the form of a pot, can be very useful because we can carry water in it. But when it is broken, we can no longer carry water in it. So according to our forms, we have different functions. So we acquire different kinds of duties according to the forms that we take. If a woman becomes a mother, then her activities must change. Her dharma, because of her form as a mother, is that she must attend very carefully, closely to her child. One time I was talking to some guests at the New Orleans Center, and this young couple, we were talking about Dharma and Sanatana Dharma. And while we were talking, the child was unattended and he was running on top of the benches, running around and around. So I said, your first duty is to your child. He's running around, it is dangerous. You attend to your child, then we can talk about Sanatana Dharma. But that particular Dharma that we have according to time and circumstances, that is part of our Sanatana Dharma. I'm giving lecture, you're listening to lecture. We're going out and doing duties. But that is all part of our Sanatana Dharma, according to our position. Sometimes we are engaged in activities which are temporary. The mother will not always be the mother of a young child. Those kinds of dharmas change. But all of us, the mother, the father, the son, all of us, we will always be the servants of Guru and Gauranga. Once I had a discussion with Meta AI when I first discovered it. I asked, what is Hinduism? And it gave some standard scholastic answer. So I was dialoguing. So no, actually there is no word Hinduism. In all the Vedas, Sarva Vedeshu Jushtite, you can search through all the Vedas, you will not find this word Hindu. Prabhupada said, we are not Hindus. Everyone in India, well not everyone anymore, was thinking, oh, we are Hindus. If you go to fill out an application on a hospital to enter, they want to know what your religion is. They don't have Vaishnavism. They don't have Sanatana Dharma. They have Hinduism. So we have to accept the label Hindu. So you know how if you ever use Meta AI, it is very flattering. Yes, you are absolutely correct. Actually, the proper term for the Hindu religion is Dharma or Sanatana Dharma. And then you can go on discussing with Meta and AI, and well, then you should change. Oh yes, I will change my answer. I will consult my database and change. Then you go back the next time, it hasn't changed. Very flattering. Very flattering. So we are also being flattered in this world. But we should not be deluded by this flattery. It's often misleading. Simply someone who wants something from us. They are wanting something from us because they identify with their body and they want something we have, which perhaps they are not entitled to have. But they want it. So because they are not seeing the over picture that we're all different manifestations of the Supreme, they are being envious. They want something that we have that they don't deserve to have. That is envy. Srila Prabhupada in Los Angeles, once during a lecture, he looked at me and said, "In this material world, you are envious of me, and I am envious of you." And I was a little surprised because I thought, Prabhupada, you've given me so much. I'm in the Sanskrit department, I always wanted to do that, and this temple is so beautiful, and the chanting was so wonderful, especially in his association. The chanting was, I never chanted japa like that ever before, and never again since. It was inconceivable, it was so wonderful. Why should I be envious of you? And what is my position here? I have no authority. So how can you possibly be envious of me? So didn't say this to him, but I was just thinking. So he said, envy means that this is yours. And when Srila Prabhupada said, this is yours, all the esteem and knowledge and wisdom that he was experiencing, all the worship that he was receiving from his devotees, all of the inspiration he was receiving from the Supreme Lord, this is yours. But I do not want to give it to you. So when he said that, I felt envious from the tip of my toe to the top of my head. I was completely overwhelmed with envy. I had played Duryodhana before Srila Prabhupada and tried to summon up all my envy. There was no comparison. I was simply overwhelmed with envy. And just as quickly as he manifested it within me, he withdrew it. And he said, no. In the spiritual world, there is no such envy. Envy there is a kind of praise. Envy, just like if someone you love or like very much, good friend, achieves something very, very wonderful, that really they deserve. You may say, oh, I envy you. But it is a kind of praise. Or Dinabandhu once said, yes, one gopi is thinking, oh, that other gopi is doing such wonderful service for Krishna. So that is transcendental envy. Very often we experience that we may want to see some improvement, to make some enhancement in the way our godbrothers or seniors and everyone are performing the service. But they won't listen to good advice. Even though it is a wise person, he will accept gold even from a filthy place. There's even one city where they take the sewage and they pass it through these wide rollers, very tight together, that are magnetized. And the metals, including the gold, are extracted and they scrape it off. And in this way, they are extracting gold from sewage. And it pays for itself. It pays off. They make more money than it costs to do this. So that is intelligence. They are accepting gold from the most sinful place. So if something is gold, we should accept it. I am in no position here, but I think perhaps we should, when a lot of guests are present, we should play the mridangos and the kartals softly and sing melodies that they can easily follow, so they will understand, they will feel, we want you to chant. And we should tell them, everyone, please chant. I was going around, I got in the habit of going around, proud of myself. I was going around and learned a little Hindi, Kripaya, Kripaya, Bhaja Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or Natya Paramanandime. Please, please, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and dance in ecstasy. And many of them would smile and begin chanting. And then I was doing this once with the Russian devotees. They would go out on Bhaktivedanta Marg, not far from the temple, and have kirtans. And I started doing it there. And when the devotees saw the result, one of the other devotees started doing it. If we encourage people, they have to know. You're not here just to take darshan of the deities. Darshan of the deities is the prescribed means for liberation in another yuga. You know which? Does anyone know which yuga? Darpa yuga. More, elaborate worship of the deities. We worship the deities because it's so beautiful, so wonderful. It helps us. But without the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, worship of the deities will not give us liberation. We will not go home back to Godhead. We may go to some heavenly planet. We have to chant Hare Krishna. Of course, I said that once in front of Pancha Gauda. I said, of course, chanting in front of the deities, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, to Krishna Balaram, and Radha Shamasundar, Lalita, Vishaka, Gaur Nitai. That is even better. Huh? It is so much more wonderful. It helps us so much. But it is the chanting of the holy names in this age. So we have to tell them they don't know. They don't know. So for a long time, I wrote up something to tell them, and I used Google Translate to type it all out. I never showed it to them. I told a few authorities, yes, that you can do. They said, we can do that, he said. I had this grand plan that, we should have signs out that you have not been here until you've chanted Hare Krishna with us. And even when the guards standing by the gate, when the people were coming in, tell them, please chant Hare Krishna. And the security guards are women who kind of wander around and make sure everyone is behaving properly. They could also please chant Hare Krishna, because they're wandering around anyway. And so I would go around and encourage people, and it helped. It helps people chant a little. And Dinabandhu, I was having a little difficulty, and Dinabandhu told me, I thought he didn't approve, because at one kirtan, I was doing that and was getting some result, and I indicated to Dinabandhu we should do that, and he said, there's nothing you can do about it. Just enjoy chanting Hare Krishna. And I thought he was chastising me. He said, no, don't frustrate yourself. He said, one time I saw one leader of kirtan, stop the kirtan and tell everyone please chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then they continued and everyone was chanting. Very, very wonderful. So if we, I'm off the topic here, but if we lower the volume of the instruments, especially when it's the congregation's time to respond, and we chant a simple melody. Best melodies are Prabhupada's melodies that he learned from Bhakti Siddhanta that are coming directly from the spiritual world. And we encourage them. Everyone please chant. You know. This is the Yuga Dharma, come chant, Hare Krishna. Then we will get the result. A lot of times, devotees are simply showing off. We're showing off. Like, Kiba Jayo, I can't do it. But Prabhupada did not like that. He did not like that. And no one who can follow it. So the congregation feels discouraged. If we don't shape the clay in the right way, we won't get the right result. If we don't follow the style, Srila Prabhupada's style of chanting, we won't get the result that he got. Again, Srila Jayadvaita wrote an entire book on proper kirtan. And I heard there was also another book. So you're all listening very nicely here. Some other places, if I say this, I'll not be very much appreciated. But we can't quit. One time, Panchagoda looked at me during the lecture, and he said, there are three things. There's persistence, enthusiasm, and patience. So I felt like he was telling me, that Krishna was telling me through him, that you want to do this thing, it's not so easy, but be persistent, be enthusiastic, and be patient. Our tendency is to get down, to lose our energy. But just like if we're on book distribution and someone hurts our feelings, we refresh ourselves somehow and we go out again. So we have to persist in wanting to adopt Srila Prabhupada's kirtan style and use the appropriate melodies. Not all of the time. I read, there's one article out called Prabhupada's Kirtan Style. You can look it up on the internet. There's long descriptions of how we should follow. But then one example was given that, who was it? Can't think of his name at the moment. He was chanting a different melody that he had felt, that he just spontaneously started chanting, and he stopped. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Srila Prabhupada. That's not one of the melodies you gave us." And Prabhupada said, "No, that was your ecstasy." And the devotees were so excited to hear that. You mean we, at our early stage, we can be experiencing transcendental ecstasy? Oh, everyone was so happy to hear it. So there's a balance. Not that we shouldn't sometimes show off and have fun. Sometimes, yeah. Like when we're doing circumambulation on the temple, everyone is just having so much fun. But if you go to Mangalartik, you'll know a very simple, very sweet melody. The instruments are played very, very nicely. We have to keep in mind why we are there. If we want the public to understand why we are there. We have to play the clay mridungas nicely. We have to play the kartals sweetly. Madhur, Madhur, Madhur Bhaje. Sweetly, 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 sweetly. Of course, some devotees will say, they will say that sweetly means really loud, right? They say it like that. We say it like that sometimes, right? But if we want to attract people, we have to do a lot of different styles. Some people will be attracted to sweet, gentle chanting. Others will be attracted to headbanger music, right? If you listen to a good radio station, if there are such things, there'll be a variety of music. It's not all one style of music. Or maybe it's all country western, or all rock and roll, or all classical. But within those, there's also variety. There's varieties of ways to shape clay. And in the spiritual world Krishna loves variety. That's why he expands himself as Prakash expansions and plenary portions like Vishnu. He expands like Balaram, and then as Vishnu. And then all the internal potencies, Radharani, the cowherd boys. Actually, the cowherd boys were, in previous lives, many of them, were involved in the material nature and became elevated, just like we all can become elevated back to the spiritual world by Lord Chaitanya's grace. And then we, living entities, we jiva souls, we are another variety. We offer something, we have something to offer to Krishna that his internal potencies don't quite have. Something special, that we've done this by choice. We've been around this great wide world, the Beach Boys sang. I don't know if you know this song, it's a famous song in America. And I've seen all kinds of girls, the material. But I couldn't wait to get back to the States, back to the sweetest girls in the world. I wish they all could be California girls. So we've been like that. We've been around this great wide world. We've been rabbits and cockroaches and demigods and people. We've been plants and trees and flowers. We've been all around. But we can't wait to get back to that state where we're tasting nectar at every step. Purnamrita swadanam. Purnamrita swadanam. I know I feel most blissful when I'm giving lecture often. Or sometimes, but then go back up to my room and Maya's overwhelming again. We all experience it, right? Get really excited. Not you, you're steady. Right? We get really excited. And then, we get attached, attracted. If you think a woman is attractive, that means you're attracted. Right? Or if you think a man is attractive, it means you're attracted. Finally, we come to the point where nothing in this material world is attractive. Just like the internal potencies of Krishna. There is no attraction for this material world. That is the nectar for which, knowing or unknowing, we are always anxious. There's one verse that says, like that, we're always anxious. We don't know it, but we are always anxious. What is that verse? Shiradika Madhava Madhuya Lila Gunarupanam Nam Pratikshana Swadhana Lolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. The spiritual master is hearing the names, forms, qualities, pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and he's always anxious to experience those. So let us pray that as far as this material world, made of different kinds of clay, that we use everything according to its purpose, and that we become more and more attracted to Krishna's purpose, original purpose, which is to enjoy the unlimited varieties of existence and to share that enjoyment with us. If we surrender fully to Krishna, Krishna reciprocates. We're the winner in every way. If we surrender fully to Krishna, then Krishna surrenders fully to us. It is the glory of devotional service that it's the glory of devotional service that Krishna becomes bound by it. Mother Yashoda tied Krishna up with ropes and bound him to the grinding mortar. And then he pulled on those ropes and broke twin Arjuna trees, effortlessly, like a child. But he couldn't untie himself from the bounds of Mother Yashoda's ropes. Nanda Maharajan had to do it for him. So we'll stop there. Are there any questions? Got to turn it off. It's going to be a good question. Yes.
As you told, we have different forms according to which we have particular duty, and that also comes in Sanatana Dharma.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part of that. After we have a particular duty.
Yeah, so Guruji, as you told that we have particular form, because of that we have a particular duty, and that we have to do. And but we are always anxious for that nectar at full strength.
Yes.
So what is the way to experience that nectar even while doing the particular duty of the body? Because when we do the particular duty of the body, like when we say that everything is Krishna's energy, and everything has existence because of Krishna. But then why not to directly focus on Krishna instead of the covering of Krishna or this the energy of Krishna? Like why to get more and more entangled in that? So better to maybe try to remove that duty or give less time or main priority as Krishna and less priority as that. So why to take that duty as right? Because ultimately we are anxious for that nectar. So why not give first priority?
One reason we don't just meditate directly on Krishna is because he doesn't want us to. Whoever says that he is directly my devotee, he is not my devotee. But whoever says he is the devotee of my devotee, das anu das, he is my devotee. Is that all right? Anyone else?
He said ultimately we are all dust. Our forms, our activities, ultimately we are all dust.
The body, yes, but we identify with the body. So ultimately we're all dust.
It's including mind, body, and ego, including that or just body?
Well, it's poetic expression. It's poetry. Right. Because we know we're mind, body, mind, intelligence, false ego. But the intelligence is right next to the supersoul. But poetically speaking, Judd Bharat certainly knows that we're not different forms, but we think we are. Rahugana thought he was the king, and that Jad Bharat was just like a slave. He didn't compensate his servants nicely. Anyone else? Any other questions?
Can you more elaborate on that? This Dasa, you said that we have to be servant of servant.
Comment more on the Das Anudas?
Means, as you said that why Krishna is not allowing us to actually go to that stage where we can experience nectar at full strength, that we have to surrender to a devotee, or we have to become devotee of devotee.
Right. Maya's not allowing us. That's her job. That's her job. If we don't have a pure desire to serve Krishna, then her job is to give us the other choice that we want. One time, I was formerly a student of Dr. Mishra, and he had so much of association with Prabhupada, and a lot of it must have rubbed off. And he was saying that, I'm giving you this service, something very, very elevated. You don't want it? Then I give you the world. Go and enjoy it. So Krishna, he's giving us the spiritual world. Lord Chaitanya is distributing pure love of God. If we don't want it, okay, go enjoy the material world. I think I missed part of what you were asking. Something? Yeah, Maya, that was it. Maya also, she becomes a little envious of us because her job is to stay here throughout the entire creation until the entire Mahatata is wrapped up within the body of Mahavishnu, and there is no more cloud in 1/4 of the spiritual world. The only occasionally is the material world manifest. So she's a little envious because Shiva and Shakti, they have to remain here. So she's not going to let anyone go unless they're really qualified. But I also heard Srila Prabhupada say that sometimes Krishna will give the order. Let him go. Haridas Thakur was tempted by Maya Devi. Even Ramchandra, Maya Devi tried to fool Ramchandra by appearing as Sita. She was thinking, how can he be the Supreme Personality of Godhead? He's lamenting like an ordinary person. So she went to test if it was true, and she appeared like Mother Sita. But Lord Chaitanya immediately saw through her Maya. And he offered his respects as mother, because Ram is worshipping Shiva and Shiva is worshipping Ram. So he considered Maya Devi to be his mother. And when Lord Shiva saw that Sati had assumed the form of his divine mother, his worshipable mother, he wouldn't touch her anymore. And when she understood that, well, what's the use of this body if my husband will never touch me? So then when he told her, don't go to your father's celebration. That will be the end of you. So you went. Any other questions? Just as the river, Ganges is the greatest of oceans, of rivers, and Aditya, I think, is the greatest of of demigods. And just as Lord Shiva is the greatest of Vaishnavas, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, so of all the Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam is the best. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hari Hari Bol. Does anyone, who's the greatest demigod sometimes considered? I don't remember. I'll have to look up the verse. There's not a Aditya. Oh yes, of all the Adityas, I am Vishnu, right? You told me that. Of all the Adityas, I am Vishnu.